Hi, everybody. So, welcome to the Forex League live trading session. Saved by FX here, Nick Dark FX here. We're going to get into all the pairs we're looking at for today. This will be recorded, thrown on YouTube. We got a bunch of people in here ready to go. So, as always, we're going to get right into it. Nick's going to start with DXY, the dollar index. He's going to explain real quick, what it is. It's pretty simple, and then he's going to get into some technical analysis.
Awesome. All right, guys. So this is DXY, US dollar index. It shows the strength of the US dollar only. This is not a currency pair. This is an index. So we look at the US dollar because it makes up for 80% of all trade, and it is considered the reserve currency of the world. So it is very important to understand what's happening with the dollar because, again, the rest of the market is going to kind of follow suit with whatever this is doing. So, here we are. We can see that we have a giant range between 101 and 98.5. I've been talking about this for a long time. This is good because it's showing dollar stability, which is what we want. What we don't want is giant swings like this, which is speculatively driven, news related, complete bullcrap, doesn't have any weight to it. But this was caused from dollar shortage. It was pretty much mass panic that caused dollar shortage. Extreme demand in the dollar, and it's actually bad once the dollar is too overvalued because other fiat currencies start to, are affected negatively. So if the dollar is too strong, other currencies are becoming weaker in comparison. So that is not what we want to see. So what just happened here? Hold on. Why did this just do that? Hold on one second. There we go. All right. So we're back onto the 4 hour. Right. We can see that there's a range between 101 and 98.5, like I just said. And this is a good thing. Right. We want to see it consistently bounce from this resistance level and also from the support. This is where good market structure is forming on other pairs. You don't want to see this, climb up into this range or drop down into this range. So right now it's pretty good. We did see this rising wedge last week and we identified this. We expected a little bit of a push higher and then a drop off, but it kind of fell out about halfway through the pattern, which is fine. We did expect it to drop. We didn't expect it to break this resistance level, but, we saw the dollar drop. So now it's headed back towards 98.5. Will it continue to hold this trend or will it bounce in this current area? Well, we're going to have to find out, and we're just waiting on these 4 hour confirmations. But actually, one second. Let me grab another tissue. You want to talk a little bit more about the US dollar?
Yeah, no. I see some people in the chat. What's up? What's up, Matt? What's up, D-Bone? What's up, Bernardo? What's up, Jose? So, yeah, we just started the session. Good. We'll cover AUD USD. CAD JPY, I can't promise that we're going to cover in this. We will cover, what's up, AK-47. US 30, I've been thinking about maybe doing, analysis more. I don't know if we'll get to that this session. I need to back test and to go over what I'm exactly looking for on that a little bit more. And then Euro USD we're going to cover as well. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to get to everything. We don't trade NASDAQ, so we will not look at that. So, yeah, we can get right back into it.
All right, did you want to share yours? Do you want me to whip through all these?
Oh, yeah. If you're done with DXY.
Yeah, DXY, guys, we're just looking for that stability. And, right now it's in a short-term, bearish channel on this 1 hour. You can see it fell out of this rising wedge. So, we're short-term bearish on this. But I want to pass it off to Angelo. You can just override the share.
All right, so we're going to take a look. I'm going to go over all the major pairs in here. Come in here. Got the live session up and running. Let's go over to USEF. So USEF, took us for a little ride yesterday. We risked 1% on trade. USEF, let's push it over. Had this very long wick, come through back into the supply zone, tested this trend line. So let's start off with USEF and take a look. Obviously I'm back into a position now. I didn't alert anything, but there's a lot going on with USEF, with the US dollar falling out. A lot of indecision right now. So all the way back up to the weekly time frame, with USEF, most recently had this bearish engulfing here. Obviously the trend has been bearish, but this 200-day has flattened out around this level. We've been consolidating here quite a bit. Last week closed with his doji, so we're just very indecisive again at this upper level right now. On this daily time frame, I did mention in my analysis for the week that we are forming, some sort of pennant. We're get prices being squeezed, higher lows are being formed, lower highs are being formed, which could potentially mean this could break out and just go really bullish. Um, as we still maintain below this trend line, below supply, below 200-day on this daily time frame, I am still looking to short. We are getting a lot of resistance, which doesn't convince us, well as to what's going on. But again, where I'm looking at structure on this is in particular on the 4 hour, all the way back to here when this broke, retested, and then we had this higher low that had formed, and then this actually broke, retested here. This is when we took our trade, we went into a decent amount of profit on this. We went into a decent amount, we were up 30 pips, and then this thing came back, retraced. Our stops were like around here. We had pretty tight stops. We could have had them a little bit wider. And then it came up. We could have protected ourselves a little bit better with stops in this area. So yeah, stops were a little tight, but we can go down now to like the 30-minute and just take a look as to what's going on, because I had put into the signals chat that this is the level that we needed to be respected. Let's go to the 1 hour. This is the level that need to be respected. So 1 hour, obviously, we started the transition. We broke this level, formed this low. More clearly, we can see this on a 30-minute, but we'll look on here for now. Basically, if we were on the 1 hour time frame and really waiting for this to transition, we started to see the break of this very minor level, break of this level support. Ultimately the break of this. So the break of this whole area, support. This dump right here was a nice sign for us. And that came after we gave our signal. So that's why I'm now back into this position, and I may signal this again, is I saw huge wick, which if we look previously on USEF on higher time frames, it loves to show this type of volume before dumping off, long wick here back into supply zone. On the 1 hour, this is a long wick, up here. And again, so this wick is huge. And then we've got exactly what we look for on our entries, moving averages crossing, coming through, bearish engulfings going on. So we could potentially signal, this one again, all the way down to the 30-minute time frame. Again, huge wick. This level was respected. 30-minute structure, low, lower high, form this higher low that was broken, lower high right here, boom, higher low, and then we started to roll lower. So USEF looking to short this pair, today, could put out some sort of signal on this at the end of this hour. So we'll see what goes on. I'm in a little trade right now that I'm pretty comfortable in. We got our stops, protected at a few different levels here. So this trade's looking pretty good, at the moment. So that's USEF. Let's bump over to UCAD. UCAD is actually like pretty funny because Sunday we went over this. We went over exactly what we were looking for, and then I freaking stepped away from the charts and didn't take the trade because I wasn't even looking. So this just shows sometimes you're going to miss trades, but this trade played out perfectly. So weekly time frame, as always, we're in this supply zone, very consistent in that analysis. And we had this bearish engulfing, this bearish variation here, had this bullish engulfing, which we knew was a fake out because as we bumped down to the lower time frame, we started to take a look, had these highs, had these lows, was bouncing in between these so many times. We were at this level. So we just started to continue to go down until we saw structure. On the 4 hour, I saw this break. This was my high or low, pull back through the moving average, pulled up, retested 100% level or 0% level. And then we had this break, boom. These are not lower highs. These are just lower time frame, retracements, none of these pulled through the moving averages, showing me that these are not strong enough to be lower highs. And then up here is where it happened. Up here is where we started to get that, transition. Lower high was formed. This is where we were looking for sells. We talked about this on the live session on Sunday. Is we came down to this 1 hour time frame first. See higher low, higher low, higher low. This was broken. We were at this point earlier in the week. If you guys remember, this is how the market opened right here. We were like, okay, cross the moving averages. We're entering. Literally cross the moving averages, and this would have been a massive trade. This would have been about like a 50 pip, 55 pip stop loss. And it's so far, it's up 3-1. This would have been a huge trade that we missed out on. So my apologies, but the analysis was definitely there. At this point, what are we looking at now? Let's be very mindful of where we're at. We are, and I'm going to, just to clear things up a little bit, I'm just going to take that off, take this off, go back up to this daily time frame. Where are we at now? We're at this low. We're at this daily level support again. Previously, we formed very bearish and we pulled back. Very bearish, pulled back. At this point, what do we need to see at this level? We need to see a clear break below. We need to see a clear closure below this level, followed by some sort of retest. We are right now, we are right here. We're in the same spot. We're in the same exact spot as we were right here. We don't want to get faked down short now. We want to wait for some sort of pullback, to this 38.2, to something, and then we'll see, if we can continue to go short or maybe we play the range. So there's nothing, doing on UCAD at the moment. I'm just going to chill on the 4 hour with this. Let's go over to UJ. This analysis also played out really well.
This was a crazy move.
And it's pumping again. Yeah, Hansino, I just said that, UCAD could potentially go up. We're, like I said, we are in this range, red. Look at previously. We could potentially go back up. If we're going to short this, we got to wait for a little bit more confirmation at this point, because previously how this thing has been reacted. So, like I said, right here, we're in a very similar position. This could just come back right into the range, right in between the red, and come all the way back up to this level. So yeah, we'll wait on that. UJ, we were talking about weekly time frame on UJ, very, very bearish. But we had this inverted hammer candle form, a lot of slowing up in the markets. 1, 2, 3, boom, slowing up. So that tells us all signs of reversal down to the daily time frame. At this level, boom, 1, 2, 3, a lot of bullish coming off that level. Yeah, moving averages crossing. Let's go to the 4 hour. This is what caused us to start to be bullish on this, at least until we get up into this higher levels, into this daily resistance, into this daily red zone. We had this 4 hour break of structure. Boom, high, higher low. And then we had this 4 hour engulfing. This is what we were talking about. This is why we put this, little arrow. We had this 4 hour engulfing. That told me on this 30-minute time frame that there was a break of structure. So on the 30-minute, this is what was going on. Lower high here, and then just maintain these moving averages. Minor pullback here. More major pullback right there. This was the break. Boom, higher high. Just look at the moving averages. Bullish, cross, bearish, cross, potential entry right here. Stops below this level. Then again, pullback, cross, failed entry right there, and then next entry right here, right? So we're just using those moving averages for entries. This one would have put us up way above 2-1. This was another great trade that I'm just very upset that I did not put out. So this week, not having the best week, but we did have our analysis there. So which is good. At this point, for UJ, this thing is surging. So we're not going to take anything. If anything now, I'm going to bump back up to this daily time frame. And I want to be mindful that my overall trend right now is bearish. My overall trend on this is bearish. So look at this. This surged up very similar to here, found resistance, and then continue with the overall trend. Until we break this level, this thing is still bearish. Until we break this level in the daily, this is still bearish. So now we're hitting this 618. We've got 200-day moving average. We've got this resistance line. I am going to look for some sort of reversal, some sort of short opportunity in this area, just like that. Boom. That's what I'm going to look for. I'm going to put this up to red. We're up on the daily time frames. We're back on the higher time frames. So that's what I'm looking at with UJ. Looking at that. Let's go over to NU. NU, like we talked about, let's go all the way up to the weekly time frame. We were at this support level, very similar to UCAD right now, is we were not taking any sort of shorts until this really broke below and retested. As you can see, that did not happen. So we were patient. We didn't even look at this. I wasn't even looking at this because I was waiting for these 4-hour and these daily candles to form. And this is, let's clear this up a little bit. Let's see what is going on this. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off, take this trend line off. We're back on the daily time frame now. Take that off. So on the daily time frame, this level of resistance formed multiple times. This actually crossed. So now this is a very significant level for us. This is a lower high that just formed right here. I'm going to drag this across a little bit more. Boom, adjust this to these highs, just like that. So this zone is the zone that we're coming back into now. This is level of last level resistance on the daily time frame. So let's go down. Let's go up to the weekly. So weekly time frame, huge bearish engulfing right here. This could just be a nice retracement. Find a nice short out of this area now, considering that we are bearish. Let's go down to the 4-hour. So the 4-hour time frame is bearish. We just broke support. Just broke support here. We took a little short off of this level, trying to catch this move originally, a little breakout. But now, ultimately, what is our actual trend is my fib is from this high to low. This is the support that we broke. This is structure, on the flip side of this higher low right here, this double bottom, this was broken. Now, as we come up into this level of resistance, this higher level, we've got our 100%. We can draw a little supply zone. Drag this across right here, change the color. Boom, so we got this supply zone. Let's see, make this color the same as that, relatively close. So we got the supply zone. So we are going to look for, and again, we're still on the 4-hour with this. I'm going to look for price, come into this area where I've got a lot of confluence, bearish engulfing, something similar to this, little variation, pull back. These are the entries are going to be moving averages, crossing, everything like that. And then we're going to go short. So that's NZD, USD. Let's go over to GU. GU is pulling back very nicely right now. Let's go up to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, obviously bearish. Fell below the moving averages. Now we're retracing. As the market always should. Let's go to the daily. Daily time frame looking really good, looking really solid. Got this daily fib, double topped near this 618 area. Fell off. We broke below daily support. We were waiting for the pullback. This is the pullback. So let's go to the 4-hour. This is where we're trying to get on entries, the 4-hour. Very similar to this. This pulled back through the moving averages and then started to dump off. That's exactly what we're looking for at the moment. So I'm going to fib this. This is the previous lower high. This is the lower low. Right there, we've got the 618. We got resistance. We got a lot of confirmation here. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Just very bullish. So we need a lot to happen right now for this thing to really find an entry on this. I need to be very patient. Need a lot of consolidation around this level, bearish engulfing. We need lower time frame breaks of structure. Very similar to what went down here. If we miss this, there was no clear entry here on this variation. So we waited and the entry started to play out here. So we're going to look for something very, very similar to that. We're going to look, price came up and then started to dump off. So price, the expectation is that price is going to come up to the 618, start to consolidate, and then show us, what we need to continue to sell off. So that's GU. That is all the pairs that I'm going to cover. If you guys have any questions on GU, NU, UCAD, UJ, USEF, feel free to drop in the chat. We're on the 4 hour for most of these, so nothing is looking that good for the next few hours. Like there's nothing immediately that I'm going to signal or that I'm looking to trade at the moment. Again, USEF is the only one that we did signal, so we could see something. What about the inverse head and shoulders? Where is that at? On which pair? What about the
This potential formation right here you're talking about on this 4 hour?
Inverse head and shoulders. Oh, like
Might be
this.
talking about this low here. Yeah, that could be
Yeah.
left shoulder, head at the bottom. So this could potentially be the right shoulder forming, sure. We're still a few confirmations away. That's good that you're kind of anticipating a potential pattern, but it is still a little early. It would if it was an inverse head and shoulders right now, it would still be establishing the neckline. So you just want to see
I'm not personally looking at that. Was that on the 4 hour? Yeah, this isn't like a deep enough pullback for me to consider this a head and shoulders. And I'm really looking for head and shoulders personally on like the 4 hour and the daily time frame. Let's see.
1 hour.
Yeah, I saw it on the 1 hour. So you're seeing like this,
okay, yeah.
This is the left shoulder, head, right shoulder.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just not putting that much weight on this. The neckline isn't that solid or anything. Look at the moving average. This thing barely pulled back.
Yeah.
So I would not. This is very weak right shoulder right now. But yeah, definitely good question. So we're gonna sit on this again on the 4 hour. See how things play out. No problem, Hanzino. And then Nick's gonna get into EU, AU, and then some of his other pairs. For you guys that want to get in on the giveaway, just submit your Discord name in the chat right now. In the end, I'm gonna go back and put all you guys into as we do always, random generate it, and we'll pick a winner. So if you're on the live right now and you want it on the giveaway, just put your Discord name into the chat, and you guys are entered for the $20 giveaway. So I'm gonna pass this over to Nick, and then he can get started.
All right, good analysis, Angelo.
Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely solid.
You guys got some good value out of that. Looking pretty clean. Again, we're still quite a few hours away from any entries on those pairs. So let's get into some of these. Again, quick recap on DXY. Right, we see that it's pretty stable. It fell out of this rising wedge. Now we're kind of in a short-term bearish channel here on this 1 hour. If we were to drop down, right, just a quick recap. Right, it fell out. We're getting some sort of bearish transition here. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to some other pairs here. So we got AU next. Let's take a look at AU. Okay, so we already know that it is primarily bearish on higher time frames, right? Super bearish, very strong, steady bearish channel. Then we had this swift push to the downside, and now this 4 hour pullback here. This is a 4 hour bullish trend, but it is still just a retracement, right? Until we get above this weekly zone, we are bearish on this. So our sentiment is overall bearish. But you can see how strong this 4 hour trend is. It's like forming pretty good structure. It's got a good amount of volume. It's pretty damn strong. But now we're seeing a little bit of consolidation around this key level, which is our weekly, and also the 0.65 area. We've been seeing it range between 0.64 and this weekly quite a few times, once, twice, 3 times here on resistance, quite a few times here on support. So, we want to wait. We want to wait and see what happens at this level. We could see a reversal here. If a potential short opportunity would be something like this that we had seen at this yellow zone, which is a 1 hour zone, right? We want to see some consolidation, maybe a break below, retest with a double top, some bearish setups, some bearish variations, and then you could short back down to the 6.4 area, right? That's a definite potential short-term play, right? But in order to catch the large move, to catch into this daily bearish continuation, if it does present itself, we want to see price action really get below this 0.64 area. So I have it actually, this blue line is the preferred path for price action. This would be our, highest probability trade, something that we've been kind of watching and monitoring for a while. We want to see this clean transition, significant break below the support, test on a lower high, confirm lower high, and then we get target lower towards major support levels, and even lower towards other monthly levels. and back down toward the bottom of this range here. So that's definitely, one possible scenario. If it does play into the overall bearish trend, we would like to see this continuation, this daily continuation to the downside. There's a huge potential move if this does play out, right? Or if this 4-hour bullish trend just stays strong as hell and pushes higher, how could we play into that, right? We want to see a significant closure above, retest on a higher low, confirm bullish setups, and then we could target towards major resistance levels. So what would this look like? Something like this. Now, this isn't the preferred setup because, again, we always take into consideration the higher time frames, and the higher time frames are, a bearish sentiment right now. But I will give you guys both scenarios because, we don't predict the market, we just follow it, and we have to be ready for whatever the hell happens. So this is very possible as well, right? If this, 4-hour bullish trend continues, we want to see a pop up out of this weekly zone, out of this weekly resistance zone, significant closure above, retest this weekly as support, get that confirmed higher low, enter on some bullish engulfing, some morning stars, exhaustion, something that's a bullish variation. We can enter on that and then target higher towards 0.675, right? So let me give you guys an estimate of this range, about almost 200 pips, about 190 from the top of the zone. So that's a good potential trade. Would be high probability trade as well. Just got to wait for those confirmations. But, my bias is definitely short on this just because, I heavily weight the higher time frames. There's no question that this is bearish on the daily, right? No question at all. But, if it did break above this zone, then we could see clearly that this is, a transition, to the upside back towards this 0.675 area to retest, for a retest on this resistance level. So, that's definitely very interesting on AU right now. Kind of just waiting. Again, we're chilling on the 4-hour here. We are pretty far away from an entry at this point, but it's still on our list. We're still watching it. We're still going to be ready for whatever plays out. So that's AU. Let's keep going here. Man, my allergies are killing me today. My Lord. All right, so now we're on AJ. Very similar to AU, right? Very, very bearish. This huge bearish channel on the daily here is a good amount of volume, so it ranges quite a bit. It'll make a huge push. Then you can see it'll kind of form these channels, like these short-term bullish channels on a 4-hour, reach a key resistance level and then drop. And that's pretty much what we're seeing now. It just depends on which key resistance level is it going to reverse at. And, we do see here that this is a pretty strong 4-hour trend. And I'm going to drop down in a second. But, we're currently breaking this weekly zone, the 70 handle, which is a big level, pretty big level. Kind of lines up right with the 61.8. And the fact that it's closing above it is, definitely an indication that this has got a lot of bullish pressure. So let me go ahead and zoom in. So this was the preferred path, right? We wanted to see this channel break. We saw that this was a double top. It didn't have that much strength. We thought it was pretty good, but we wanted to see a little more conviction coming out of this. We wanted to see this 1-hour yellow zone here break, and then retest, give us that lower high confirmation. Then we were able to potentially short down to 67.5. And this would have been a really great trade. It was 44 pips to get just about 112, a 2.5 risk reward, really great. But it didn't play out. The bull stepped in, found significant support right here at this 1-hour yellow zone, right with this 200 EMA. Also lined up with the bottom of this channel. So, we just see price action surging. So now we have to reevaluate, right? Where is it going to go from here? We see that it's breaking this weekly zone. Either this is a fake out, and it's going to push back below the zone, right? Something like this. And then this trade would potentially be valid again. We would be looking for another break of this yellow zone, if this was a fake out. If it's not, I want to see it push a little bit higher, stall, come back for a key fib level on this 4-hour, and I'll show you exactly what that would look like. Here it is. Boom. Low to high, as always. Something like that. I would like to see it push a little bit higher, right, and then come back to a 38.2. So let's say they push a little bit higher, something like this. Let's say it comes back and touches the top of this channel here, right? This would be pretty ideal. And then we find, support at a key fib level, which kind of lines up with these, prior highs, which solidifies that this is a strong now support area, in which case we can start looking long and targeting higher, right? So this would be a 4-hour trade. This is not a daily trade. It wouldn't play into a daily trend. It would play into just the 4-hour trend here because, again, the higher time frame is primarily bearish. So this would definitely be a short-term trade up to this, top of the trend line again, or top of this channel again, or potentially higher towards this, higher time frame channel. This zone up here, which is near the 61.8, the negative 61.8. So this could be a really good trade. We'll be watching this again. This is pretty far away from an entry. This is still the 4-hour. We still have quite a few hours of development in this trade, but I mean, we're ready for it if it happens. So again, want to see a little bit push higher, consolidation, pulls back for a retracement, finds support at 38.2 as well as this weekly, and then we get those bullish confirmation setups, and then we can target higher. Let me get a quick range for you guys. Right up to the 61.8, it's about 190 pips, very similar to AU. To the negative 27, it's about 115. Right, and this would definitely be a really good potential trade. Let me just mark it up for you guys. Okay, let's say we got in here. Right, stop loss would be below this weekly. Let's call it like 50-something pips. So at least it's like a 2-4 here, almost a 2-4 risk reward. Should bring it up a little bit. More or less a 2-5 risk reward, and then even higher potentially, almost a 4-0, potentially a 5 if we get to the top of this higher time frame channel here. So this is a really good potential trade. Again, I always like to picture both scenarios here because we're ready for everything. I'm not trying to predict what's going to happen in price action. I'm merely trying to follow it and understand what it's telling us. So let's take a look at the daily, see if any of it makes sense. Right, if we look left, we've seen price action kind of bouncing from the lower trend line of this channel to the higher trend line. Very, very clear to see that it's been doing that multiple times. Right, it'll bounce, 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 bounce. Now it bounced here, so it's very likely that we'll see it touch this area again if we do see that this is, a strong bullish 4-hour channel. So definitely potential trades in here, but we'll be waiting. Definitely, maybe we'll see this play out later today, 12, 16 hours or so, or even tomorrow. So we'll see. That's AJ. Let's move on to EU. All right, so EU is looking interesting. We were expecting a drop, but we didn't see it happen. It's still ranging. Let's just jump up to the higher time frames here. Super, super bearish on this daily. We see this strong bearish channel, bearish daily channel, good volume, huge ranges. It's been forming pretty good structure up until now, right? We've been seeing a lot of consolidation, then we'll get a huge move, right? A lot of consolidation, then a huge move. Again, same thing here. And that's pretty much what we're seeing now as well. So right now, we can drop down time frames. We can see that we're pretty much stuck in this range right here. We were expecting a drop. I wanted to see it break below this support because it looked like it was giving us those confirmations, especially after it rejected here with such force. We had this 200 EMA hold pretty well. This 1.09 area held. And then we saw these setups, these bearish engulfings through the MAs. So it looked like it was pretty good. But, price started to stall at the support level and it didn't break. So, that was unfortunate. But this was the original trade path that we were looking for, right? Significant closure below support, confirm lower high, bearish setup with confirmations, and then we were able to short on that opportunity, but it didn't play out. It's fine, it happens. And it actually just pushed up higher, back towards the top of this range. So right now we're stuck. We are definitely stuck between these areas. Let me go ahead and mark this out. 1.099 and acting as resistance. And then we have this area down here, 1.078 as support. So this is where it's kind of stuck between right now. This 1.09 structure is kind of just like the middle structure zone where price has kind of been bouncing. It's been respecting pretty well. It's not as significant as these two, these two zones. This resistance at 1.099 and the support at 1.07. So these are definitely the major areas that we want to see break to get a better understanding of where price action will be going. So, I'm definitely more bearish on this than anything else. So I'm going to stick to this bias, right? I just want to see this break the support, retest on a lower high, but you could definitely get some, lower time frame trades in here. Excuse me. So we could see a potential reversal from this 1.09 handle you just want to see something like this, price action stalling. You want to get really clear, potential bearish setups from this area. Something that's like huge exhaustion, then maybe a bearish engulfing through the MAs, lower time frame transitions. So you could enter on a shorter position here, lower time frame position here, but it's definitely got more presented risk rather than this more conservative trade, right? So right now we're just ranging on EU. I think this is pretty far away from an entry, so we're just gonna have to wait on this one and kind of see what happens. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Yeah, these allergies just get me bad. Yeah, this is EU. So, it's stuck in a range. I was just saying it. I was saying how much it's stuck in a range here, and we just want to see it either, break 1.09 or 1.07. But my overall bias is very bearish on this. So, this is definitely the preferred path. But let's see if this makes any sense on the daily. Right? Hugely bearish, guys. Hugely bearish. It's absolutely nuts. So we're seeing some exhaustion here on the daily. That's a good sign. This could be a little bit of a lower high, in this little range, which is a good sign. And then we could start, looking for this setup to play out. So we'll be watching. We'll be watching that, especially if we get a daily evening star. The next 2 days, like let's say Wednesday closure at 5 p.m. EST is below these MAs and below 50% of this first candle. That's a huge setup. Something like this here. Huge setup. You can then start looking on lower time frames for entries. Even mid-range here, I would take that. That's a huge momentum setup. Definitely shows a lot of bearish pressure. So that would be EU. Let's keep moving here. I got EJ and gold for you guys. So EJ is kind of similar to EU, right? This is actually moving a little bit more than EU is, but let's just take a look, zoom out. Primarily super bearish, right? Very steep bearish channel on this daily. Again, a crap load of volume. It'll consolidate, make these huge pushes, retracement, huge drop again. Now it consolidated again in this area. But what's happening at this monthly is pretty interesting. It keeps breaking it. It keeps disrespecting the hell out of this area. It keeps giving these false signals. It's a little easier to see on the 4 hour here. So this is monthly, right? It broke. Kind of was a fake breakout. The consolidation was pretty heavy in this area. The momentum kind of fell off. The volume fell off. And then it just pulled back. The bull stepped in for a retracement. It came right back to these 200 EMA. And, then it reversed from that area. So this is, it's been pretty interesting. Just look how many times it's disrespecting this monthly. It's just, it broke here first, respected a little bit, then disrespected it again, came back. It looked like it was holding here pretty well. It even has a little lower time frame head and shoulders. Let me just see if I can kind of highlight this for you guys. So this was like the neckline right here, and then it looked like it was retesting and had potential to drop, but it didn't. It just came right back up. It totally disrespected this area once again, and now it's pushing higher. So this is definitely a 4 hour transition. You can see how strong this is. It's significant closure above this prior lower high. So, where we're at now could be, the start of a transition. So let's go ahead and throw some fibs on it. Right? If it were to reverse here, it could come back to this 38.2. A lot of confluence in this area. Could potentially get a short-term long position out of it. Something like that. Right? And then target back towards the top of this trend line. Let's see if it makes sense on the daily. Right? It does. It does for the most part. But it still would be bearish. Even if it did come up and touch this 200 EMA on the daily, this is still very bearish. You guys, you understand that? Because this is the, the most recent daily lower high right here. Yeah, it is, erasing this lower high down here, but this is more of a 4 hour. The next zone is this, 118.5. So if it does break this, these are a few transitions. Again, we always talk about this domino effect, how we see lower time transitions, then we're looking for the next higher time frame transition, and so on and so on. That's how you kind of validate, a higher time frame, trend change. But right now, it's a short-term play. We do have that that lower time frame transition here on the 1 hour. We could see it continue higher. It does have a lot of volume, so it's looking pretty good for the bulls on EJ right now. But the next zone is 118.5. Wait for a pullback, and then we can target that area and potentially up to negative 61.8, which again is right where this 200 EMA is, right where this higher time frame trend line is. So let me just highlight this. So this could be the zone that we're coming to next, and we'll see. Just waiting for the confirmations. Right, that could be where we're going. but we'll see. If let's say this is, you know, a a fake out, and it's just a 1 hour, little bit of 1 hour volume, and it's nothing major. We're just going to look for this monthly to break again, right? I always like to play out and visualize both scenarios. So let me show you guys what this is looking like. I mean, this isn't the cleanest structure because it's just kind of like choppy as hell. It's kind of all over the place, but you still have to be aware of what's going on. So if this does pull back, let's say this is a fake transition. It doesn't have any weight to it. It's just a little bit of a surge, due to whatever reason. We want to see this, right? We want to see it break back below. Get rid of these fibs so it's easier to see. We want to see this, right? Significant closure below the monthly, confirmed lower high, and then we can get in on bearish setups. So we can see that, but again, I mean, the overall time frame is bearish, so that is, our bias, bearish on this. But we have to go by what we see, and what we're seeing right now is a little bit of a 1 hour volume, a little bit of a 4 hour or 1 hour transition, potentially a 4 hour transition if we do get above these areas up here. But this could definitely be, either one of these could play out. We just got to wait and see what happens. So let's see if this makes sense again on the daily. Notice how I'm always bouncing around time frames, guys, checking to see if things line up. I'm not just drawing random lines, just saying, oh, it's going to drop, and we're going to target 200 pips. Like, no, there's actually logic behind it. This is our target would be this weekly, according to this daily. And, for the shorter term bullish trade, I'd be targeting the higher part of this channel, this bearish channel. So, there's always a reason to, to these areas. We're not just choosing randomly. So, again, this is pretty far from any sort of entry, though. So we're going to wait on this one as well. And that's EJ. Not looking the cleanest for this week. Probably the least clear out of all of these so far. But that's EJ. Sometimes it moves well. Sometimes it just moves all over the place and it's a pain in the ass. But part of trading. So, all right, here's gold. Last pair I have for you guys. I always like coming to gold because everyone just kind of has an eye on it, but not everyone trades it, which is fine. But let's just zoom out to the higher time from here. We're on the daily. Super, super bullish, right? We've gone over this many times. Super bullish. And, we recently broke this monthly resistance. We held a few times over here, right? Tested resistance a few times, pulled back, finally broke it, and now is testing this monthly as support multiple times. Huge exhaustion from this level. Really, really good sign. Showing a lot of strength in gold right now. So let's go ahead and drop down time frames. Right, we were waiting on this trade to play out for quite a while. We had all this consolidation in this area, right? We had our lower time frame, structure levels marked out here at 1715, and we entered on this break, right? So it broke out, retested on these MAs and this 1715 area, and then it just took off, right? Came all the way up to 1764, and I talked about how this had the potential, if it kept its momentum, it has the potential to go all the way up to 1800. I still believe that this is a valid target, but we covered this as if you wanted to re-enter, but you had missed the trade already. And when we analyzed this, it was all the way up here, and this drop had not happened yet. But now this drop happened, and now we have an entry opportunity, right? So look, take a look. This is pretty interesting stuff. So here's that fib level, low to high. Boom. What do we have right now? The 50%. It wicked the 61.8, right? Especially if you drop down time frames. Let's see if it closed at that level. Yep, pretty damn close. So we could be seeing a potential entry in here. This is actually looking like it's getting ready to set up right now. So, I mean, for those of you who trade gold, we definitely want to see this little area break right here. I'm going to get rid of this trade set up here. So this is where, we're looking to get above. So if it does come back down to 61.8, you could be looking for setups down here. The closer to 1715 we get, the better. Because, again, this is that main structure level. So we want to see it come close to that. Maybe wick the 1715, get body closure at the 200 EMA and the 61.8. That would be ideal. And then you could just start looking for long setups on any bullish setups you see. So bullish engulfing, exhaustion, morning stars, bullish variations. So 3 strong bullish candles in a row. Reason enough to enter on. Plenty of confirmation. We already know we have tons of confidence in this trade. Just make sure you use proper risk because gold is kind of tricky. So definitely use proper risk. So this is looking really, really good. So both scenarios, let's play it out. I mean, I'm only going to draw up some bullish setups here because nothing here is saying bearish. So I want to see this happen. Either pull back swiftly like this, gives us some bullish setups at this key area, and then we're long. Or let's say it breaks right now, right? You can get in on something like this. Closure above this zone, quick retest, enter on a bullish setup. Boom, long, all the way up to 1800. Whoops, all the way up to 1800. So this would be really good trade. Gold's been looking really good, forming great structure, pretty easy to read lately. So yeah, I mean, this is looking great, absolutely great. What do we do once we've marked it up? We jump up time frame, see if it makes sense. Is there logic behind this? Let's see. Zoom in a little bit. Yes, it looks pretty good, right? We're not drawing any lines that are like absolutely crazy. This is totally or nothing out of the ordinary. This is completely common to see. We want to see this pullback, right? Enter on, key structure level after we see the confirmation, or wait for this lower time frame structure to break, enter on confirmation again. So that's gold, guys. That is gold. Looking really good. Look at all this exhaustion too.
Yeah.
Good Lord. What'd you say?
Hell yeah.
Right, looking good. So quick recap, guys. DXY. Oh, I'm gonna jump up to I'm gonna jump to the daily here. All right, quick recap. Covered DXY, covered AU, covered AJ, covered EU, covered EJ, and gold. All right. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good this week. But yeah, we're still pretty far away from any entries. Not a big deal. It's part of trading. Sometimes you gotta, practice patience a little bit, and it'll pay off. So again, guys, all these analyses as we're getting closer to entries will be posted in Discord under the premium analysis section. And then obviously, as they do execute, we'll post them in signals. So that's what I prepared for you guys today. We covered quite a few pairs, and let's see if we got any questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen here.
Yeah, go for it.
And we're gonna wrap this up. So we just covered, all the trades that we're looking at for today. Again, USAF looking like a potential short. Right now, I just came in. I put all of your names into this random list generator. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna pick a winner for the giveaway. So we got 19 people submitted. We're gonna come into here 1 through 19. Boom. So the winner of the giveaway is number 1, Joe
Wow.
Lodiz. You're all the winner, Jose Lozano. You're the winner. So just message me in Discord after. Get the $20 giveaway. So that's that. And then let's pop over real quick. Right now, we are doing, this is live, this 40% off full course membership. Everything here is included, as we went over. Right now, there's 7 spots left, I believe. So some people scooped it up yesterday. We talked to you guys. I also want to make you aware, we do have lifetime signals. Someone got in yesterday and was asking about how they want to potentially, get the course over getting lifetime signals because they want the education. For you intermediate traders, the signals is definitely something you could benefit from in the sense that everything that you're getting within the signal group, fundamental analysis, premium signals, and the mini course, that is all like we're teaching you how to fully function account, how to manage your account. So we're giving you in the signals, the percentages on every trade that we're taking. Inevitably, that's what's important about trading, risking very similar percentages and then seeing what your gains are, over the course of the month. And then obviously we're giving you the summaries of the trades, the trade reviews every single week, premium analysis. We started to add this. These are not signals in here. These are just analysis on the lower time frame that are on our watch list, that are high on our list. Yeah, my battery is dying. That is high on our list. So these are not signals. These are just analysis, that we're looking at. Here we go. GU, in this, we did have a little, head and shoulders marked on there, but we went over why that isn't, for us as important as the higher time frame. And then the fundamentals every day, we post our fundamental analysis in here, and there's a whole course on fundamentals too. And if you buy this full course membership, you get the signals. The signals, we use Teachable. It's a very organized platform with our curriculum. You get the signals. It's an additional course, so it's like a bonus. So you'll get our full course, and then you'll get the signals course as well. So it's like a 2-for-1 deal. Again, right now it's 40% off, $299. Normally it's $499. So that is something that's going on now. And yeah, so the giveaway winner, just be sure to message me, after this. And that's pretty much it. Tomorrow we'll be back at it. We'll post the signals today that we see. Really, just USAF is what we're looking at, and we'll post some analysis. And yeah, we'll see you guys again tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST for the next Forex League live trading session.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. Keep trading.
Hell yeah. Yeah, have a good day, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Boom, boom, boom.